Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying. It is Monday and guess what I get to say this week? It is Rally Week. We are back. Isn't it brilliant? Yes, the winter break is over. I know it only seems 5 minutes since we were finishing up Rally Japan, but we are ready to begin the 2025 season. Not like those poor souls who watch F1 and have to wait months and months. We are back. And while those F1 types complain about Monaco being boring, our trip to Monte Carlo is one of the most exciting events of the year, one of the biggest challenges, and I can't wait. So there is lots to get into. Let's get right to it. However, before we do that, I do just want to give you a quick reminder to check out the Maximum Attack Rallying merch store. You can buy fine items of clothing like this t-shirt, among many other things. Do give it a look and do a buy, but let's get right into the rally. So as always, the rally is based out of the town of Gap, which is actually about 3.5 hour drive from Monaco. It is also the hometown of the 8-time winner Sébastien Ogier. We have to look forward to 344 kilometers of stages this year. That's about 20 more than in 2024. The action kicks off on Thursday evening. There are 3 stages. Let me just check, totaling 54 kilometers. Then on Friday we have another 107 kilometers with cruise time. I think they start at 9:30 local time on Friday. Saturday is the longest day, which seems to be a tradition in the WRC these days, 131-ish kilometers. That's a long day. Actually, the crews will be leaving service at 7 a.m. and I don't think they will be putting their cars back into Parc Fermé for 12 hours, so they will be out all day on Saturday. As always, the rally wraps up on Sunday with a shorter day, 51 kilometers there across 3 stages. 18 kilometers of that is the power stage, which is Le Bon-Vesuvier. It's a shame, isn't it, that the final day of these WRC events continues to be so short. I was hoping with this extra freedom that the organisers had been given to spice things up a bit, we might see some changes, but they remain, unfortunately, at the mercy of the TV schedule and the timing of the power stage. So it looks like we're kind of stuck with that. The main factor, of course, in Monte Carlo is the weather. It's early in the week. It is probably too soon to be trying to make accurate weather predictions, isn't it? There has been lots of footage, obviously, over the last couple of weeks of pre-event tests, and the teams have been testing in snowy conditions. I've tried to look at forecasts from various points on the rally, and the conditions looked mixed from what I could see. The temperature wasn't as low as I expected. It was generally seemed to be above freezing in a lot of places. So we will see what happens in terms of the weather. All the usual caveats apply there. We are in the mountains and it can change, can't it? It might be sunny and relatively warm 1 minute, but if the temperature drops, who knows if ice could form in places and create lots and lots of challenges. Let's get into the meaty bit though. Let's get into the bit that we all want to have an opinion on. Who is going to win? Ooh, it's a tough one, isn't it? It is a tough one. So last year, Thierry Neuville, he won the rally on his way to his maiden World Championship, got off to a winning start. I think he was about 16 seconds ahead of Sébastien Ogier. Elfyn Evans was in 3rd. For me, I know Neuville won last year. For me, it remains very difficult to put anyone in the position of favourite other than Sébastien Ogier, 8-time winner. It's local ground. He is from Gap. It is very difficult to bet against Ogier in Monte Carlo, isn't it? He is just such a prolific winner on that event. So my money remains on Ogier. He is doing less rallies this year, but he will be desperate to add another home win. So I can't bet on anyone else. I'm sorry. If you disagree with me, great. Tell me in the comments, but I just can't look past Ogier for the win. That said, I do expect Thierry Neuville to be involved. He is obviously a threat for the win, obviously a threat for the podium. I do think that now the championship monkey is off his proverbial back, that I think we'll see a calmer Neuville, probably a more deadly Neuville. You know, I think the pressure is gone. You know, he can just drive. He's a champion. And, you know, we saw how well he performed last year, and I think he will just continue to build on that now. So he will be there or thereabouts. I also think Elfyn Evans will be in the picture. As I said, he was 3rd last year. I really hope he gets to grips at last with this Rallye 1 car. Now the hybrid is gone and can really kick on. He had a difficult 2024, but it is worth remembering that he did finish second in the championship. So, you know, it was not a bad year by any means in terms of the final result. Obviously not what he would have wanted, but I really, really hope he can kick on and just make that step and be properly in the championship fight. Obviously, we can't talk about potential winners without talking about Ott Tänak and Kalle Rovanperä, who is returning for a full season. Neither of those guys have won in Monte Carlo before, but that doesn't mean that they're not capable of it this time. For me, they're a podium threat. I don't think I see them winning, which is probably going to mean that one of them's going to win now. I don't see them as winning anyway, but I think they will be there or thereabouts. It is worth noting, just while we're kind of on the subject of Hyundai, I have been talking about Hyundai drivers a bit, haven't I? That the Hyundai drivers will not be competing in the very latest i20 Rallye 1. That, as I understand it, is scheduled to make its debut in Sweden. That will be a heavily revised car. They have basically been given permission to use their 2025 and 2026 Jokers to bring that car up to a higher standard. That's interesting, isn't it? The teams agreed to let them do that, but you have to wonder, after 2024 and the fact that they won the driver's title and came very close to the manufacturer's title, was that such a wise move? Could we be about to see an even faster Hyundai that really starts to dominate? Who knows? Yes, mentioned Tänak, mentioned Kalle Rovanperä. In terms of M Sport, I wouldn't expect too much from them. You know, we have to remember that Munster is still learning. He crashed last year, didn't he? So I think for him, a finish is important and a good, solid result, if not an outstanding one. And I think that is very, very much the case for Josh McAlean. First rally in the Rallye 1 car, 2 rallies in a row there. He's just got to get through this, hasn't he? That was a Daniel Bedingfield song, a weird 90s reference there. He's just got to get his head down, hasn't he? Just bang through the stages, keep it on the road, keep it neat, keep it tidy, learn the car, and just get used to it. You know, he's just got to settle himself in. The speed can come later, just build in this time. Who else do I want to mention? I'm looking down, and that's very rude, isn't it? But I don't care. There's one more man I want to mention. There is one more man. Adrian Formeau. I haven't talked about him, have I? I haven't really talked about Taka Katsuta. Could he win? I don't think he's going to win the rally. Could he be on the podium? It is possible. You know, he had a difficult second half of 2024. Obviously, he sat out Rally Chile, came back strongly in Japan, difficult Rally Japan. There's a chance, isn't there? There's a chance he could be in the mix for the podium, but I think given the talent at the front of the field, I think it might be difficult. I want to talk about Adrian Formeau, though, because he has obviously moved to Hyundai. He must be a happy man, I think, right now. He's had a good pre-event test program, which I suspect has validated his move. I know M Sport have been testing as well, but I suspect he will have had more mileage than Hyundai. He did a warm-up event at the end of last year, so I think he'll be feeling satisfied in that respect. I don't think he'll win the rally. I think he might win a rally in 2025, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure he'll win this one. That said, French driver on largely French tarmac, he has to be a threat, doesn't he, for the podium? If he can settle into that car, which it looks like he's been doing, he could be in amongst it for the podium, and what a fine start that would be. Obviously, the win would be an absolute dream, wouldn't it? It would be a fantastic headline, but I think if he can put that car on the podium, that would be a really, really good start to his Hyundai career, and just a fantastic place for him to build from. So, those are my thoughts, but now I want to know what you think. Who do you think will win the rally? Who do you think will be on the podium? Who do you think will bin it and make a fool of themselves? It can happen, can't it? Monte Carlo can be a cruel place. I seem to remember Gus Greensmith a few years had a little bit of a boo-boo on the ice and had a very, very slow and tragic pirouette off the road. It can happen, can't it? A few people went off last year. Tänak went off last year. Katsuta went off last year. It can be a very cruel place. So let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen. As always, like and subscribe as well and follow me on socials. And I'll see you again next time.